Hello there. Cookies with turn 48 of EA Relay. And things are starting to heat up a little bit, so let's go ahead and check it out. We got our vine bow from Femoria. Um, so our small donation to the War Cause of Femoria and enabled us to buy one of his mage turns essentially for 2 gems. So we just get a little bit more research in. Let's see. Respecs, Auspecs. We put up Stellar Focus, and it went up successfully. So unless it gets dispelled, we'll be at 15 pearls a turn, which is great. Takes about 6 turns to pay back, but hopefully we can keep it up for longer. Then we had a couple of big battles. So in the Caves of Mira, which is the throne, Ermor has attacked Tianchi. So we have the Legions of Ermor with some Sacred Cav going up against some Provincial Defense. And they actually threw up Arrowfin, which I thought was kind of neat. So that's clearly going to be a win. And they've backed it up with a Skelly Spam Communion. So pretty efficient course for taking this province. And can probably pretty easily get into the throne. Somewhat unlucky that they're cav routed. It looks like they didn't get blessed, so that might be part of it. They do route the PD. And then in Dardania, we had a big fight as Ermor storms the fort. So, I say big, I mean important. So we've got the Holy Three Bishop here to try and claim the throne. We have a Fire 4 Death 2 mage with Precious, which is a little bit weird to keep this on this person. But then also has Rainbow Armor, which makes sense. Helps counteract the helmet, which has -3 reinvig. So... And then we have a number of Draconians. We have a few other mages. This one's got some bogus stuff on it. If you remember, we killed 3 out of 4 or 3 out of 5 of the bogus heroes and had 1 run away. But one of them was missing, and that was the Griffin Rider one. And so he must have killed that one and taken this armor and kept it on this augur for some reason. Not who I would have chosen. Definitely would have taken this. I really like this charm. I just think it's a little expensive. So I would have taken this and put it on probably literally anything else rather than that augur. We've got a Death 3 augur elder. And then we have a fully kitted out thugged Robin Williams, the Gen. So he's now at 24 HP, horror helmet, vine shield, elemental armor. Which seems like overkill. I guess it gives cold resist, but there's probably cheaper armors. Like you can do the I guess you get 20 protection too, but then like you're also making your spellcasting encumbrance crazy. So I probably would have gone with a different armor. Even just like the cold dragon scale armor, which is 10 water gems. So you still get the cold resist. I think it's 15 cold resist too, so you'd be at cold resist 10 then, which makes Frozen Heart spam a lot less viable. And then you don't need the shocker fire resistance. So I don't know, like there's definitely changes I would make to this kit, and then I'd still be brushing Pyro the Catharsis to save this guy, because getting him that early in the game was kind of game breaking from that arena mod. So got some Skelly spam. Now over on this side with Femoria, we have the Ghost Orb that I crafted for him, so he's got a couple of death gems. This elemental armor again, which is again super heavy on the fatigue, so adds 12 casting encumbrance. And then like a pretty generally good thug kit, but he's going to be knocked out for the whole battle. So, pretty unfortunate there. We got Wailing Winds, though, out of them. Natural Storm, a Natural Storm by both sides. Unfortunately, all these druids here are protecting this Frostfather, but the Frostfather has a 13 chill aura. So he's very quickly going to put a lot of these druids to sleep, and they're never going to wake up. So, and those druids were somewhat a key part of the plan, because you have some water mages in here, and they can Frozen Heart through the 5 cold resist, and that's one of the few ways to efficiently kill that genie, is through Frozen Heart. So they do hit him. So hit him with an Arcane Bolt. And the range, oh, Frozen Heart. So there you go. That's definitely one of the ways to do that. Another Frozen Heart. Got him down to 8. Unfortunately, the Fomorian King is also dying. And the Frostfather is almost asleep. And decides Magma Eruption is the best thing to do. Meanwhile, all of these druids are taking fatigue damage. So they're dying because they're next to their their Pretender God, which is really unfortunate, especially the one with the Thistle Mace. Like, Air 2, Nature 2 is pretty cool. I don't think you get paths that high naturally, so maybe that was like an Empower? Oh, maybe you do. Do you get 4 paths? Anyways. The Pretender's now asleep. And Robin Williams still has 8 HP. Wailing Winds is down. And Blade Wind, again, the wrong choice. So, and with that, the Pretender goes down, which means Storm goes down, which means the Draconians can hop back here as well. Or no, there's still Storm up, but I guess they've routed. But we still have a Holy 3 here who can claim. So that's it with that. So Butcher's Ledger is Ermor lost pretty much nothing. It really does need to do the Pyrocatharsis, though, if he wants to save his gen. And Fomoria took a huge loss, which is really unfortunate, because right now they're the smaller power out of... They're like the 2-cap power, fighting against Ermor and TNG, so I was really hoping they would do well. A couple of scripting mistakes really kind of biting them. And yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into Relay. So I guess we'll take a look at the throne picture. So Ermor's gotten this one. They're going to claim it this turn. But I also heard TNG finished taking this one from Ermor. So the game's not over yet. Although if Ermor storms this, then they'll still have the requisite 5 that they need. But at least, you know, we've got a couple more turns to try and stop things. So that'll be nice. Hopefully TNG can manage something for killing this army of infantry. Looks like he's got some stuff here, some whites. Maybe they can do something. Additionally, we're now getting back to Relay, now that we've maybe got 2 more turns in that we can do. I don't know. We're doing some more recruiting. And we're going to launch our long-awaited offensive on Arco again, because why the hell not? So, and this time we're bringing more magic. So we're going to see if we can finally kill these birds. So we've got our turn 1 communion with 8 slave matrices. where the goal is to do Storm and Fog Warriors. I know they have magic weapons, but the Myrmidons don't, and we're still going to have to fight them too. So that's kind of the idea behind that. And Fog Warriors might be enough to burn out the whole communion and kill it. I'm not sure. But we'll find out. And if that doesn't kill them, the nature buffs I have planned probably will. So I'm anticipating a lot of these mages dying. But if it wins a big battle against a big Arco stack, it'll be worth it. If we get gem burned and the communion burns out, we're going to have to probably withdraw. And by gem burned, I mean like Arco attacks, like somehow manages to fight us this turn, burn our gems, and then burn out our communion, and then we'll have to withdraw. We won't be able to stick around and storm the fort. Notably, because we're fighting on his fort, we can't get magic phased on, because his magic phase attacks will go into the fort. So we've got a number. We're going to cast Rain. We're going to do Water Elemental spam. We're going to do Mass Protection. And then put some buffs on the communion. We're going to do more Water Elementals, Earth buffs, Power of the Spheres, Doom. This guy's off the communion. I tried to remove as many people as possible off the communion, because it's going to be a mostly off-path communion. So high likelihood of it burning out, so I want to make sure spells aren't reliant on it being up to be able to get cast. We're also going to do Power of the Spheres, Light of the Northern Star from this guy. More Water Elementals, then he's going to join in. He's diseased, so maybe the regen or something, if some sort of regen gets cast, maybe that'll help him. Here's this guy. So he's getting the Vine Bow. So, I mean, it's one thing if we're going to cast a bunch of nature stuff on this communion. I don't think there's any nature slaves on the communion. But I really don't want to cast a bunch of air stuff, and this guy's guaranteed to only cast air stuff, unlike the nature mages. So he gets a Vine Bow, which means he's going to fire when he's done with this script. So he's going to do Storm and Storm Power, Fog Warriors, and then he's going to add a couple of buffs to the communion and fire. This guy's going to do... I don't even know why you have... Oh, Power of the Spheres. He's putting Power of the Spheres on the communion, trying to help it out a little. Personal regen, actually. And then Mass Protection at the end. You might want a personal regen in the fourth spot to catch some of the diseased ones that come in. So I'll have to take a look for that. We are going to do a Serpent's Blessing, Foul Vapors at the end of the script. So this is fairly resilient to certain gem burns, but also the idea behind it is we should get off the bigger air buffs before some of these go off. So this is 150, this is 200. I think the air buffs they're gonna take a while. It's like 200, 110, 200. So it's like, I think the first one's gonna go off like around when Enlarge is going off, and then Moss Body is going to go off around the same time as Storm Power, and then Serpent's Blessing, and then the Fog Warriors, which will probably kill the Communion, and then Foul Vapors. Assuming we can even still cast Foul Vapors. This guy, I actually gave him a Communion Rock, and that's so he can cast Fanaticism. I'm not... I think just having enough slaves should also boost his holy levels. I'm not sure if like the holy paths are different to boost levels, to be able to, like, if they have to be priests to be able to boost the level, but we'll find out. So a little bit of experimentation here. Adds Holy Avenger to the communion as well, and then just doing some Word of Power spam. More water elementals, and then turn 2 anti-magic, and then some astral buffs. Mostly for the anti-magic caster. I guess he's not on the communion. So, let's see. Now, do we have... Oh, sorry, my AC kicked on, just in case you can hear that or not. Okay, so we do have personal regen in the 4th spot. So that should be fine, I think, for catching some of these casters, like the diseased ones that are going to join. So I think we're okay. In terms of the formation, we've got the Lobo Guard in the back. Then we've got the Mind Blasters in front of them. We have a line of infantry. We have a block of infantry. That's ideal. Should deploy over all these mages. I had a weird case in my Arco game where the block got moved, completely offset from all the mages. So hopefully this will deploy over the mages like it's supposed to. The water elemental casters are in the front and in the back. The communion slaves are in this line, and then the masters are in the square. And then we've got a couple of the diseased guys off on the sides. These are the guys currently on the fort. We've got some tramplers who can really only trample myrmidons, so they're closer to the front, although there's a good chance they'll be fighting the Wind Riders if Storm goes off in time. I think he needs to do like a turn 1 attack with the Wind Riders. So if he does like a hold and attack, trying to draw my infantry forward, he should get caught in Storm. I think that's what he did last time, and then we'll be okay. If he does a partial, like half the Wind Riders go and fly up, and then half of them do like a hold and attack, then maybe we can get them. That's kind of the idea. And then we have another line of infantry in the front. Also notable, let's see, so this thing has Taskmaster 3, but these guys are not slaves, but they have decent morale, so they're going to sit on the Mind Lord. We are bringing a gem meal. I didn't measure exactly. I just knew I needed a lot of air gems and a lot of nature gems, some pearls, and as many water gems as I could to fill out the rest. I only had the 1 scout available, so I missed that in my planning. Should have gotten a 2nd scout. Then I could have been like more precise. But this guy, I gave him a morale kit. So he's got the Whip of Command for +3 Taskmaster, and also lets him lead more troops. A Herald Lance, +1 Inspirational. He's got, and then I guess he can, like, if undead start popping out, he can solar raise, I guess. He's also got the Crown of Command, which gives even more command, some magic command, and +1 inspirational. He's also got the Horn of Valor, +1 inspirational. He's got this for the Communion Master. So at the end of the day, he's got +1 squad morale. Additionally, +1 inspirational, because the Whip of Command detected 2. And +4 Taskmaster. So you should be giving +6 morale to all of the troopers. So instead of being morale 7, assuming they don't have an experience bonus, and they won't be in friendly dominion, then yeah, they have +6. So we should be fighting at 13 morale in enemy territory, which is pretty acceptable. And if they have experience, then it'll be like 14 morale. So not bad, especially for these little slave troopers, since they start with really, really bad morale of 7. So hopefully we can get them to stick around. And if we layer enough buffs on them, maybe they'll not take casualties quite as quickly as they have in the past, and they'll fight a little bit harder. They do have these 18 damage tridents, so, which I think means they can maybe do some chip damage to Myrmidons if they get lucky rolls. And maybe this is the same case for the Wind Riders. But their primary job is to just hold the line so that the mages can get off all their big buffs, create all their water elementals, and then start spamming Frozen Heart everywhere. So Frozen Heart, Soul Slay, all the good things, and hopefully that'll kill off the enemy army. So that's the plan. We're bringing over 300 troops. I think in the past we've brought more, but and I don't know where Arco's army went. I don't know if it went and fought somewhere, or if it went and died somewhere. It's sitting on some throne. I don't really care. I'm going to try and take this. And then I'm going to, yeah, probably, if I can take this, I might go back and sit in the water. Or I might look at trying to take this throne off of TNG. We'll have to see about that. Or I could push further into Arco. I think that's a lot more dangerous. Maybe if I was taking this fort here, that would open up going on these other forts. So it's a block of 5. So I'd have like a base of operations next to a lake. So I'd feel safer. So I think this is an individual fort that allows me to threaten this throne, is more how I view it. So, and yeah, and so I think the other thing I need to do is probably start building an army to try and come down here and maybe contest this, or something to come up here and contest this. I would need to end my nap, so give like the 3-turn cooldown. I think a lot of people would argue that throne rushing allows you to break your nap, but previously I had told Ermor, because I had just lost my whole army, that I wasn't going to contest their throne rush. So, because I didn't want to lose my land provinces here. And so my view was it was the bigger player's job to prevent the game from ending, so that was like a Moria and TNG job. That's been my view. If I'm able to take Jan Keep, maybe I can keep pushing into Arco. I don't know, maybe I could like set something up here and try to push into Arco. However, I do think like if I'm able to take this, one, I've sent the message that, hey, I can eventually take a fort from you. Like, I know your army died fighting other things, like the TNG army, but you know, Relay can do some things, like, I'm worth negotiating with. But then, maybe I can get my army to come back over here, and maybe we can think about this fort. This fort in particular. Oh, this one's in a swamp, which is, like, I'm amphibious, so my troops do reasonably well there. But this is in a cave, which I think I would have actually a pretty solid advantage in, because all my troops have dark vision. So I've got Atlanteans with dark vision 100, which I think it's weird that this guy's a bigger Atlantean and his dark vision got worse, which I think is really weird. I guess these ones have 50, but these have 100. Okay, so I guess as they get older, their eyes get worse. I don't know. And then the Gibbous of Spirit Sight. That's kind of cool. I wish there was a way to take aquatic units on land. I think it would really kind of open up some of the Water Nation stuff. But I guess that's the price you pay for being virtually uninvadable in many situations. So I think if there was a player to do it in this game, it would be TNG with all those demons. I'm still not sure if I could hold that back even underwater, so that'd be difficult. So, but anyways, this guy's going to be sprinting from the capital, so he's going to be the surprise X factor for this army. And in terms of research, we're up to, well, I guess we're down to 900 because we're moving out the army. We're still running down to enchant 9. And yeah, I think that's it. We've spent a lot of our pearls, but I'm hoping a lot of that was on crafting. And I am crafting another set of these slave matrices in case these mages die. If I decide I'm gonna, like, if I somehow win this fort and the army can leave, I'm assuming the communion's going to be burnt out, and I might want to try doing that same trick again against a different player, like Ermor. Like, maybe they wouldn't have talked. Highly probable they talked, but maybe they wouldn't have talked. And I can surprise him with, big air buffs on EA Relay. So, I mean, it's not completely unheard of, because you have Turkle for a hero, so I'm sure it's happened to people. But in a new player lobby, I would have to think this is somewhat surprising. And then I have these Windmasters and Cloud Mages that I got from this event. So I would like to get this guy underwater at some point. Notice I'm using all my air jumps this turn, so I can't do Auspex with them. But the eventual plan is once all this is Auspexed, and he's pretty close. He needs one more turn, then I can give him a Shambler scan and send him underwater, and then he should be reasonably safe. There's not a lot of ways, as I discovered in my EA Mannheim sub-game, to kill underwater nation stuff underwater via remotes. There's some spells like Manifestation, but there's just not a lot of options. Like, I don't think Murdering Winter can go down there, but it can come out. Flames from the Sky doesn't come into the water. So there's just, I don't know, it can be really kind of hard to kill things underwater. So that's kind of the plan. We do have this pile of fire gems that I'm not entirely sure what to do with. Part of me wants to finally lab this and then try and get these guys. Maybe I'd have the economy to do that, and then I can forge lightless lanterns if we dip down to construction 6. And that would really boost the research some more. So that is an option that I'm considering. But not at the moment. So now, if this army comes in here and gets wiped, I think I'll finally throw in the towel and just say, my poor little shitters, they just can't kill Arco with this player in this chair. So I'm just not good enough to do it. Especially if he rolls out with just some unbuffed, like, Wind Rider spam, like he has the last few times. So, like, if it's just, like, really trashy scripting again from Arco, where they just don't put in a lot of effort because they don't need to, because it's just really bad slave troopers and they can't kill anything even when they're layered with buffs, it's going to feel kind of bad. So I think at that point I'd concentrate on trying to mess with these 2 thrones. So, but there is danger with exposing this area to, like, one, I get a lot of really nice income from this area. So this is 150, 106, 195, 118. So risking all this fighting Ermor or TNG and having them come through here and take this all from me, that would really suck. So I have a strong incentive for fighting Arco right now. So I don't know. If he was willing to negotiate, where maybe he would just give me this and then he could have the rest. Because we both bled a lot. I bled more than him, actually. So, I mean, if he, but if he doesn't want to give me anything still after all this fighting, like, I guess I just need to fight him. And then when he's gone, I can worry about game state. But the game by then will probably be over. So this development here is pretty concerning. The fort's not cracked though, so there's still time. I thought the TNG army was here. At least that's what I've been told. So if maybe they didn't feel like they could kill this. I don't know. But with this fort not being cracked, there's the option for trying to fight this and crack this fort. And you can't be magic phased if you're sitting on that. Maybe Arco slammed his whole army into Tianqi's, and now Tianqi feels like they can't get into this fort. That could be something that happened. I just kind of missed it. We've got some more Fomorians coming over here, but something's got to happen with Ermor. So he's got, yeah, now it's these 5. So yeah, who knows? I mean, I could kill this, but it would be in a few turns with this army to get over here. But I don't think I would want something for doing this, because this is just a service to the game. I think players should be able to hold on to their own thrones. So it's kind of my feeling generally. I don't like defending other people's stuff for them. So I don't know. If this game ends early, because the smallest player, which is me, did not intervene, then I'm not going to feel too bad. But I was really hoping to meme a little bit more in this game and get off like a nice Arcane Nexus and start diving into Whoosh. Like, that would be fun. But it is what it is. So I'll go ahead and see you in turn 49.